Yes, good evening. My name is Doretha Evans. I'm with the Speech 1311 class. I'm here to do an informative speech on the necessary steps to take to do CPR to respond in an emergency situation. This evening, I will be performing and showing necessary steps to respond to a medical emergency. Just say, for instance, and this is my audience, we have Christopher Turner, Asia Lewis, and Jasmine Evans. Just say, for instance, we're having a holiday dinner and all of a sudden your family member or your mother has a heart attack and falls to the floor. Now, will anyone here be able to administer the cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which is CPR, to save a life?
No.
Okay, so that's why I'm here this evening, and we're going to show you the necessary steps. There's check the airway. We're going to do breathing, and then we're going to do the chest compressions. Dummy. Okay, so the first thing on the scene, you would like to check to make sure the scene is safe. That's the most important thing before you administer any type of medical response. Check the scene, lower yourself down to that position. After the scene is safe, you want to shake the person as hard as you can with the adult. Shake that person, call a name out. Ma'am, are you okay? Are you okay? No response. You want to check to see if there's a pulse. You will place 2 fingers on the carotid artery, checking for the pulse. There's no pulse. You want to immediately assign someone to call 911. If you're alone, you would go ahead and start the necessary compressions. You place one hand in between the breastbone of the victim, and you place the second hand across interlocking. Make sure your shoulders are squared. Press down firmly but hard 30 times, counting out 1 to 30. Next, you will make sure between each compression the chest rises and you begin to do compressions. Next, you will go ahead and immediately tilt the head back. It's called a chin lift. 2 fingers under, 1 hand on the forehead. Pinch the nose off and begin to do 2 breaths within the victim's mouth. 1 breath, let the chest rise and fall. 2nd breath, rise and fall. Then you want to check again to see if the person is breathing. No, go back and do the 30 compressions, counting out loud, pressing as hard as you can. Note, just to remember, you may hear some cracking or breaking. That does happen 9 times out of 10, but you do not want to stop cardiopulmonary resuscitation, which is CPR. You do not want to stop because that will cause more harm than good. Do the 30 compressions, counting out loud, pressing down, 2 breaths, repeating those steps until the necessary emergency response team comes or you have someone equivalent to take over for you when you get tired. So, those are the proper steps that you would take in an emergency response for CPR for adult. With an infant or child, it's just 2 little switch-ups in it. And we have a child demonstrator here who's going to help me. I'm going to demonstrate the necessary procedures to do CPR on a child in an emergency situation. It's a little different. You would just use, instead of 2 hands for adult, you would use 1 hand. Place the hand across the chest, in between the nipples, and 30 compressions, 2 breaths. 30 compressions. Now, small recap. With an adult, you will use 2 hands, 30 compressions, 2 breaths. With a child, 1 hand, 30 compressions, 2 breaths. With an infant, 2 fingers, 30 compressions, and 2 breaths. Remember, it takes 4 minutes for brain death to occur. Always wait until the emergency teams get there before you stop doing the necessary compressions and breaths to save a life.